Adeel sat in front of his laptop, the glow of the screen reflecting in his tired eyes. Weeks of investigation had led him here, a single folder buried deep inside a government database. The folder was named Project Phoenix, Witness Protection. He clicked. A list appeared, names, dates, locations. At first, it looked like an ordinary witness protection program, but something was wrong. Every name on the list belonged to someone officially declared dead, and then he froze. One name stood out, stabbing through his chest like ice: Kashif Malik. His father. Adeel whispered in disbelief. No, that's impossible. He died in that crash. I saw the coffin. But the screen didn't lie. His father was listed among the protected, alive, hidden, or something else. The room around him suddenly felt smaller. As if the shadows on the walls leaned closer, listening, and for the first time in years, Adeel felt the one thing he had buried since childhood, hope, but along with it came something darker. If his father was alive, then someone had lied, and someone powerful wanted the truth buried. The discovery of the file wouldn't leave Adeel's mind. He shut his laptop, but the name kept echoing inside his head: Kashif Malik. His father. 15 years ago, a rainy night had shattered his world. Adeel remembered the flashing red and blue lights outside their house. His mother collapsing to the floor as uniformed officers delivered the news: a fatal car accident, no survivors. He was only a boy then, too young to understand, but old enough to remember the silence that followed. The coffin was closed. No one was allowed to see the body. Too damaged, they said. That was the end. Or so he thought. Now, staring at the truth, questions roared louder than memories. Why was his father's name in a classified government file? If he didn't die in that crash, then what really happened? Adeel returned to the archives the next day, looking for any record of the accident. But the more he searched, the less he found. Old newspapers that once reported the tragedy. Missing police reports? Restricted. Digital records? Deleted. It was as if history itself had been rewritten, but Adeel wasn't just any journalist, he was his father's son. And Kashif had taught him one thing before he vanished: never stop asking questions, even if the answers scare you. That night, as Adeel walked home through the dimly lit streets, he felt it again, the sense of being watched. A faint reflection in a shop window. Footsteps that stopped when he stopped. He wasn't paranoid. Someone was following him when he turned sharply. The street was empty, but his gut told him the past wasn't the only thing chasing him now. The following evening, Adeel's steps were heavy, his mind weighed down by questions. Every corner he turned, every shadow on the wall, he felt it, eyes on him. Watching. Waiting. As he crossed the crowded bazaar, a man brushed past him, slipping something into his coat pocket with uncanny precision. By the time Adeel spun around, the man had melted into the sea of strangers. Confused, Adeel pulled out a small envelope. No name. No seal. Just a single folded note inside. It read: every truth you reveal could kill someone you love. His heart pounded. Who sent this? How did they know what he had discovered? He rushed home, locked the door, and sat in silence. The ticking clock grew louder with every second. His journalist instinct screamed, "You're close to something." But another voice, the voice of fear, whispered, "Stop before it's too late." Later that night, his phone rang. An unknown number. When he answered, there was only static, then a distorted voice: "Leave the file. Forget your father, or we will erase you the way we erased him." The line went dead. Adeel sat frozen in the dark, the warning echoing in his ears, but deep down, another feeling grew stronger. If they were this desperate to silence him, then his father hadn't just disappeared. He had uncovered something so dangerous, the truth was worth killing for. And now, Adeel had inherited that danger. Sleep refused to come that night. The warning still burned in Adeel's mind, but so did his father's name on that list. At dawn, he powered up his laptop again, staring at the encrypted file. Something about it felt unfinished, like a door only half open. He dug through its code, line by line, until he found a fragment, a corrupted video file hidden beneath layers of encryption. After hours of repair, the screen flickered, and there he was, Kashif Malik, alive, bruised, eyes hollow, speaking into a handheld recorder. His father's voice trembled but carried urgency. "If you are seeing this, they have already erased me. They will come for you too. But remember, truth is the only weapon they fear." The screen froze. Static. The video ended. Adeel leaned back, his breath stolen. His father wasn't just a victim, he had left a trail, a message, a key among the corrupted data. Adeel noticed coordinates. A location hidden in the video code. It pointed to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Every instinct told him it was a trap, but his blood told him it was the first real lead to his father. That night, armed only with a flashlight and his father's words, Adeel stepped into the darkness of the warehouse. Dust. Silence. The smell of rust and decay, but behind a broken wall panel, he found a small locked box. Inside, a cassette tape, an old notebook, and a photograph of his father with men Adeel didn't recognize. On the back of the photo, a single phrase scrawled in Kashif's handwriting: "Trust no one. Not even the protectors." Adeel's hand shook. The truth was deeper than he imagined. The very people meant to protect his father were part of the cover-up, and now they knew Adeel was following the trail. The cassette tape hissed as Adeel pressed play. It was his father's voice again, weaker this time. "If anyone finds this, it means I failed to finish what I started. They will rewrite history. They will bury the truth. But there are others who know. Find them before they find you." The tape cut off. No names. No addresses. Just silence. Adeel sat in a dark warehouse, his pulse thundering, and that's when he felt it, a presence from the shadows. A man emerged. Tall, wearing a coat, his face hidden beneath a hood. "Don't scream," the man said calmly. "If I wanted you dead, you would be." Adeel's fists clenched. "Who are you?" The stranger stepped forward, slowly removing his hood. His eyes were sharp, scanning every move Adeel made. "My name doesn't matter. What matters is this: I worked with your father." Adeel froze. "That's impossible. My father died years ago." The man shook his head. "No." He was silenced. Because he uncovered the Phoenix Network, a group that controls what the public sees, what the government hides, and who lives or dies. And now, by chasing his trail, you've stepped onto their radar. Adeel felt anger rising. "Then help me. Tell me what he found." The stranger leaned in closer, lowering his voice. "Your father wasn't just a witness. He was about to expose names, people in the highest seats of power. Judges. Generals. Ministers. If that list resurfaces, the entire system burns." Adeel's breath caught. "Do you have it?" The stranger gave a faint smile. "I can lead you to it. But nothing is free. You want the truth. You'll have to decide how far you're willing to go." Before Adeel could answer, headlights cut through the broken windows of the warehouse. Black SUVs screeched to a halt outside. Armed men poured out, boots pounding against the concrete. The stranger's expression hardened. "They've found us." He grabbed Adeel's arm. "If you want answers, you'll have to trust me. Now run." Gunfire erupted. Glass shattered. And Adeel realized this was no longer about curiosity, it was survival. The night roared with gunfire as Adeel and the stranger ducked behind crumbling walls. Bullets sparked against metal beams. "Move," the stranger barked, dragging Adeel through a back exit. They sprinted into the maze of abandoned alleys, finally collapsing in a dark corner far from the warehouse. Adeel's chest heaved, his heart hammering. The stranger, however, seemed calm, too calm. Who were they? Adeel demanded. "Phoenix operatives. the man replied flatly. "They clean up loose ends. And you, Adeel, are the loosest end of all." The words chilled him. How did this man know his name so easily? He had never introduced himself. "You said you knew my father," Adeel pressed. "Prove it." The man hesitated, then pulled out a faded ID card. On it was a younger version of him, standing beside Kashif Malik. Both wore government security badges. "This was before they turned against us," the stranger said. "Your father trusted me." Adeel stared at the photo. It was convincing. Too convincing. Something gnawed at him: the man's timing, his sudden appearance at the warehouse, his uncanny knowledge. Was this really an ally, or just another manipulator? As they walked through the shadows of the city outskirts, the stranger spoke again. "You want the truth? Then stop thinking like a journalist. Start thinking like a survivor. Trust me, and I'll get you to the list your father died protecting." Adeel studied his face in the faint light. The man's eyes were cold, calculating. He had the look of someone who had killed before, and would again. The silence stretched until Adeel finally asked the question burning in his mind: "If you're really helping me, why didn't my father mention you in his tapes?" For the first time, the stranger's mask cracked. His jaw tightened. His eyes narrowed. Then, instead of answering, he simply said, "Some truths are more dangerous than lies." Adeel's stomach sank. He realized he wasn't just running from the Phoenix network. He might be walking straight into its trap. The city lights flickered in the distance as Adeel followed the stranger through narrow alleys and forgotten tunnels beneath the old quarter. Every step echoed with doubt. Finally, they reached a hidden chamber, a derelict subway station long erased from public maps. Inside, walls were plastered with documents, photographs, coded diagrams. Strings connected faces of politicians, generals, and corporate leaders. "This," the stranger said, gesturing at the web, "is the Phoenix network." Adeel scanned the board. Familiar names leapt out: men and women he had seen on television, celebrated as leaders, reformers, protectors of the nation. But here, they were linked to smuggling routes, assassinations, foreign accounts, and disappearances. "This can't be real," Adeel whispered. "It's real," the stranger replied. "Your father stumbled onto them 15 years ago. He thought exposing the smuggling ring was enough. He didn't realize it was just the tip of something far larger. Phoenix doesn't just hide criminals, it manufactures them, controls them, erases them." Adeel's eyes landed on one face in particular. His stomach turned. It was someone he trusted, someone he had even interviewed once, a celebrated minister who championed justice reforms. "Is one of them?" Adeel asked, horrified. The stranger's voice hardened. "They all are. And if you release your father's files, the entire house of cards comes crashing down. But understand this, they won't go quietly. They will burn everything to keep their empire alive." Adeel's hands trembled as he pulled out the old notebook he had found in the warehouse. Inside were scribbled codes, addresses, and one chilling line: "The witness list is the kill list." His throat went dry. Witness protection wasn't about saving lives. It was a ledger of targets, people marked for elimination. The stranger studied Adeel carefully. "You see now why your father was silenced. And why they'll never stop hunting you." Adeel's mind spun. Truth had always been his weapon. But now, he wondered if truth alone could survive against an enemy that rewrote reality itself. For the first time, he asked himself, was his father really alive when that file was created? Or had Phoenix planted his name there for a darker purpose, to lure him into this very game? For days, Adeel and the stranger stayed underground, piecing together fragments of his father's trail. Every document led to more questions. Every answer pulled them deeper into the abyss. Then came the breakthrough. Buried in the notebook was a coded address, a bank vault number. According to the stranger, it held the final piece, the original files Kashif had hidden before he vanished. "This is it," the stranger said. The evidence that can destroy Phoenix. Adeel's chest tightened. It felt too sudden, too clean. But his desperation drowned out doubt. He agreed. That night, they moved under the cover of darkness, slipping into the vault's underground levels. The stranger guided him past cameras, past guards, with uncanny precision, almost as if he'd walked this path before. Inside the cold steel chamber, the box sat waiting. Adeel's trembling hands unlocked it. Inside were hard drives, tapes, and handwritten notes. Enough evidence to bring down half the government. His pulse surged. He was holding history, truth, justice, but something gnawed at him. The moment he lifted the files, alarms blared, metal doors slammed shut. From hidden passages, armed men poured in, rifles aimed. The stranger didn't flinch. He raised his hand slowly, but his eyes met Adeel's with a calmness that chilled him. "You led them here," Adeel whispered, realization striking like lightning. The stranger's lips curled into a faint, bitter smile. "Did you really think truth was free? Phoenix doesn't just kill threats. Sometimes, it recruits them." The guard seized Adeel, forcing him to his knees. The vault's lights dimmed as a new figure stepped forward, a man in a tailored suit, face sharp, presence commanding. Adeel's blood froze. He recognized him instantly, the minister he once admired. The reformer, the people's voice, now standing before him as the architect of Phoenix. The minister leaned closer, speaking with chilling calm. "You inherited your father's stubbornness. But unlike him, you won't get a second chance." The files slipped from Adeel's hands, and in that moment, he realized the trap wasn't just the vault, the trap was him. Adeel was dragged into a dim interrogation room deep beneath the city. Chains rattled as they bound him to a chair. A single bulb swayed above, casting long shadows. Across the table sat the minister, the man Adeel once admired. Beside him, the stranger, no longer pretending to be an ally. His expression was cold, detached, as if betrayal was routine. The minister spoke first, his voice steady, almost kind. "You remind me of your father. The same stubborn fire in your eyes. That fire destroyed him. It will destroy you too." Adeel spat back. "Where is he? Tell me the truth." The minister leaned closer, lowering his tone. "Your father was brilliant. Brave. Too brave. He discovered our network, and for a while, we thought we could use him. But when he refused to bend, we broke him." Adeel's chest tightened. "You killed him." The minister's smile was cruel. "No. Death would have been mercy. We erased him. His face, his records, his legacy. He became a ghost, alive but forgotten. That is Phoenix's true power, not killing the body, but killing the truth." The stranger finally spoke. "Your father begged us to protect you. In exchange, he gave up the names he'd gathered. He betrayed his own cause, for you." The word sliced through Adeel's heart. His father, the man he worshipped, had compromised everything just to keep him safe. Tears blurred his vision. All these years, he thought his father was a martyr, a hero. But now the truth was more complicated. His father wasn't silenced by death, he was silenced by despair. The minister leaned back, satisfied. "Now you understand. The truth doesn't set people free. It destroys them. And soon, we'll erase you too, just like him." The guards moved closer, but before they could act, a distant explosion thundered through the building. The lights flickered. Sirens wailed, chaos erupted. Through the smoke and confusion, Adeel heard a voice, faint, trembling, but familiar. "Run, Adeel." His eyes widened, standing in the doorway, battered, older, but unmistakably alive, his father. Kashif Malik. Smoke filled the corridors as alarms blared. Guards scrambled in panic, and there, framed by the chaos, stood Kashif Malik, alive, scarred, but unbroken. Adeel's heart seized. For years, he had dreamed of this moment. Yet now, in the middle of fire and betrayal, reality felt surreal. "Father," his voice cracked. Kashif rushed forward, pulling him from the chair. Their eyes met for the first time in 15 years, grief, love, and regret burning between them. "There's no time," Kashif said urgently. "I planted the charges. This place will fall. But you must decide what to do with the files." Adeel grabbed the hard drives, still clutched in his hands. The weight of them felt heavier than any chain. Inside was the truth, the Phoenix network exposed, the names, the crimes behind them. The minister's furious voice rang out, "You can't win. Even if you leak the files, the world will never believe you. We control the story." Adeel turned, rage flaring. "Not anymore." But Kashif's hand gripped his arm. His father's voice was steady, pained. "Son, if you release them, Phoenix will hunt you forever. There will be no safe place, no peace. But if you don't, their empire continues. Innocent people die. You must choose." The world slowed, flames roared. The stranger, wounded but alive, glared at him from the floor, eyes burning with betrayal. The minister struggled to escape the collapsing chamber, and Adeel stood frozen at the crossroads of destiny. He saw two futures. It exposed the truth. The files would shatter Phoenix, but his life would become a fugitive's path. Stay silent. He could disappear with his father, live in shadows, but the lies would reign forever. His father's last words cut through the smoke. "Truth is the only weapon they fear." With trembling hands, Adeel slid the hard drives into his satchel, sprinted to the surface, and connected to the secure satellite uplink hidden in his father's notebook. The files uploaded every name, every crime, every secret around the world. Screens lit up. Newsrooms erupted. The Phoenix network's mast cracked open before billions of eyes. Back in the city, the underground chamber collapsed in fire and rubble, burying the minister and his empire. Adeel and Kashif escaped into the night, but there was no victory celebration, only silence. They knew Phoenix's remnants would come. They knew the hunt had only begun. But for the first time, truth was free, and in the darkness, father and son walked side by side, not safe, not finished, but together.